Choosing the right sports betting platform can be tricky, as most mobile sports betting apps come with limited betting options and customization, delayed cash out and withdrawal times, and tedious customer support, and no true loyalty program with continuous rewards even after signing up. All of this leads to a frustrating, one-sided experience. So, how do you find the one which suits you best? Introducing Zen Sports. It combines the best of both worlds, a traditional sports book and a cutting-edge peer-to-peer marketplace. Zen Sports allows you to accept bets against the house, or use our peer-to-peer marketplace to create your own one-of-a-kind bet and set your own odds without the need for a bookmaker. At Zen Sports, you get more betting options and a cashback rewards through our unique welcome bonus, continuous loyalty program every month, and referral rewards delivered directly into your account. So what are you waiting for? Download the Zen Sports app today at zensports.com.
Welcome to Bluff City Bets, a Bluff City Media podcast. Join Daniel Greer and Chase Bobbitt as they give their plays of the day and strategies for success as a sports bettor. Now, let's get to the show.
We are Bluff City Bets, and we're here to make you just a little bit smarter and make your money, the cash, go a little bit farther. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and we are presented by Zen Sports. And Tennessee, betting just got better. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that later on, but Zen Sports is live right now. Make sure you go ahead and go download their app today. My co-host with me, as always, is Chase Bobbitt. What's up, man?
Not much. Just finished off this NBA Finals game. Feeling good. Good week so far. So excited to get into it.
I'm glad somebody's feeling good. I'm done. I'm
Today,
absolutely.
I feel good. Now, if you would have asked me yesterday, I would have said no. But after this evening and mid afternoon, I feel good right now.
I looked at my my Pickett. If you want to go download Pickett, one of our guys, Ryan Meadows, who's actually giving in some bets, especially in the NBA Finals right now, who's doing well at it. He actually joined Pickett and he loves it. And so join Pickett. Once you, I think, sync 10 bets. So pretty much just sync your apps, sync your sports book. I'm not sure Zen Sports is there yet, but all the other major sports book, they give you $3, right? And so just go ahead and put in the code BCMBet, and you can make sure you put that in, and they will give you a kickback for just joining their app. That's it, plain and simple. But I looked at my thing, and I was like, all right, so I've done pretty well the past couple of days. I kind of got away from basketball, and then I looked at, okay, last time I did good was yesterday. The day before that, good. And then I did the day before that, bad. What's happening here? Maybe I need to stay away from the NBA Finals. So I'm done officially. I'm not putting in another dollar on the NBA Finals. I'm just going to count my losses and move on.
It's one of those things that, like, to an extent, it's almost like I feel like I have to do something when I'm watching the game, but sometimes it's almost just smart to take a step back. Like you said, tonight, unfortunately, I decided to take a step back and kind of be, the better person, if you will. And then, of course, everything I would have taken would have hit, but I guess that's the game, right? But yeah, so
that's the betting game, man. And weirdly enough, my official play is coming from Game 4, so I'm not taking too big of a step back. But that's the with how this podcast goes. I don't know a lot of lines on Friday and even Thursday night per se right now. You're going to hear this coming out obviously Thursday afternoon, so I can't give you a whole lot, especially with some baseball matchups. So the one thing I do feel good about, before I even saw the line, I told Chase, what is it? I'm taking this team no matter what it is, and he told me the line, and I'm going for it, no doubt. But let's go ahead and get into a little bit of what's around the league, and this will be a little bit shorter of a show than normal. We're going to try to keep this to 30 minutes, and so we can kind of give you a little bit. There's not a lot going on in the sports world. You have your golf, right? It's the RBC, Canadian Open, whatever that is. And then
still that after the news today.
What's going on with that? It's on. Canada's on fire.
Yeah, it's just that whole news broke, and I still really don't know how to. I think that'll be interested to kind of see how you can kind of work golf bets into it this weekend with obviously the elephant in the room with the Live and PGA and whatever's going on with that. So I do think that that's interesting, and golf may be the most exciting thing going on right now.
It is. I really enjoy betting on golf, and I have, my bets in on golf this week. And then all of a sudden I look up and baseball has, and even the WNBA canceled their games in New York because of how bad the wildfires from Canada are coming in. So just so you're aware, make sure if you are betting those, check and make sure you can get, a refund or avoid. I don't know what's going to go. I know they're in Canada. I don't know where these wildfires are coming in. So I'm not going to be the smart guy. Listen, thoughts and prayers to everybody there that's going through that, who might be affected by that. So that's not a laughing matter. The laughing matter is I just see that the sky is orange. I don't know what's going on half the time. And
I think
now
people are back in COVID mask and everything. I know the Yankees game got canceled today. Which could have saved me on the parlay that I'm talking about later on. But it's a whole thing. It's crazy. I saw all those games get canceled. I didn't even know what was going on. The next thing you know, all those games are postponed.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I have no idea what is happening. And so no clue if they're even close. Canada's huge. No clue, no clue if they're close, if they're going to be affected by it. We just know, be careful and watch out for what you're betting. All right, let's go ahead and go around the league. Chase, I'll let you lead off here. What do you have? Anything you're looking at to play? Anything that you kind of want to give us there?
I mean, the main thing, again, we're fresh off the NBA Finals Game 3. Obviously, they just closed. And we saw in Game 2, Miami basically take over the fourth quarter of that game like they've continued to do for majority of the playoffs. I think that I saw a stat they were 4-5 in games that they were down by 8 in the fourth quarter. The rest of the NBA had won like 2 out of 40 something. So we saw Miami do it again. I've always been under the impression and kind of idea that I get that it's a cool story, Miami, the underdog kind of mentality. But, and I said this on the last podcast, I do think there's a point where kind of, quality rises to the top over these underdog kind of stories with the Max Struses of the world and Caleb Martin's. No offense to him, because I know you've been hot on Caleb Martin up to this point, but just seeing how Miami, I was very impressed with the fact that they stole a game in Denver, first game in the playoffs that Denver has lost at home. But going into this game, and Malone was calling out all of his guys after the game, talking about effort, and it seemed like he was directly pointing out Michael Porter Jr. In a lot of these comments. But then seeing how Denver responded tonight and how that's going to influence now Game 4, Denver obviously wins by 15. So a good response from Denver, a historic performance from Nikola Jokic. So I'm just curious to see how that plays into now Game 4, which is plus 3.5 Miami, or Miami is plus 3.5 at home right now. Obviously, I think with Miami, it's one of those things that you really can never count them out because, and like I just said, like these guys are all undrafted. They're kind of this dog mentality, which on paper, and I've always kind of been under the idea that I wouldn't trust them, but they're in the finals. Yeah. They've continuously proven us wrong, or myself wrong. So kind of looking at that 3.5, if I was setting a line, I'd put it at 6 or 7. So obviously Vegas knows something. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I am all over this finals for the simple fact that it has been a pretty good final so far. But if you've seen now, they've kind of thrown jabs back and forth, and nobody's really got the knockout punch just yet, to use a boxing metaphor. But when Denver wins, Denver's won big. But then the next game, somehow, is it, a coaching, whatever it might be, Miami fights back and they actually find a way to win. There are lines that are coming out already. And so I'm going to be looking through these. And so that's going to be my biggest thing. And that might be something we hit on, is these live lines that are crawling out. And maybe I just go down just some of these and just ask you your quick thoughts, because I think that'd be more fun, right? And that's what everybody's looking at. Everybody's looking for maybe the quick edge. And so just so I can give a little bit of advice on these lines, you want to be a little careful for the simple fact that they might come out with these lines right away, the odds makers, because these are probably consistent, probably easy. They know how the money is coming in on both sides, especially within the finals. These guys have played, in these games. So don't be so quick to go after a number unless you just absolutely love it. Like if there's a line in here, so let's say Jamal Murray, over 25.5 points. Okay, that's the numbers there. If you're just thinking that he is going to have a huge game 4, go ahead and hit it, right? Because that line probably isn't going under 25.5. But if you're looking at a number of, maybe you like Nikola Jokic and you think he's going to score 27, 28 points, but you're not sure because he could go off. But his line is at what, Chase? What do you think?
I'm going to guess 29.5.
30.5.
30.5.
That's a huge number. So he's a guy that I would wait on unless you just love the under and you think that he's going to be a 25-point game. You want a terrible sweat. And so, you can look at numbers like that. And so, that's what I would look at. And the funny thing is, okay, let's go ahead and start it. We're going to go around the league. Let's go ahead and hit on these. We'll get into our bad beats and big cash, and then we'll give you our other 2 segments. But let's go through these real quick. The points. Jamal Murray, I told you, is 25.5. Nikola Jokic is 30.5. Jimmy Butler just had a decent game tonight. What do you think his number's at, points-wise?
26.5.
26.5. Bam.
Got it? There we go.
Yep. What do you think? What do you think Bam is at?
He's been good this finals. I would say it's probably gone up to 20.5. It's normally
Dude, you're 2 for 2, man.
I know. I look at lines all day. Too much.
0 chance you get these. Aaron Gordon.
13.5.
11.5. It's fallen.
11.5. Really? I guess he hasn't scored well in these last 2 games. He had 11 tonight. In game 2, what do you have? He had 12. So he had 16, 12, and 11. So that's low.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And the funny thing is they juiced it a little bit to -130 just to make sure they hold you off. Yeah. But he hasn't played, well, but he hasn't played bad.
He had that first quarter where he just dominated physically, and then they made the adjustment with Kevin Love playing to start. And since then, we haven't seen the same.
Yep. All right. Well, since we've been talking, we've had 2 guys pop up.
Okay.
And the lines have now moved. Gabe Vincent.
14.5.
12.5. His number fell from 14.5, I believe his last game was. And Michael Porter Jr.
Ooh, at this point, I'd probably say 13.5.
9.5.
Michael Porter Jr. is 9.5. I guess he probably won't play much. I don't know what his minutes were tonight, but that's crazy. It was like 15.5 in game 2, I want to say.
And last night it was, or tonight, where we just watched it, 14.5. And so I hit his under.
I guess he only played 21 minutes this last game, and took 7 shots. And
they won.
Yeah, you've seen it decrease. But 9.5.
Any chance you would go after Michael Porter Jr. under 1.5 3-pointers at +132?
I would take a swing at it. I mean, he only took 2. I would take a swing at it with the idea that he's not going to play many minutes and he's not confident right now and probably will be hesitant to shoot the ball. And in the past, I've always kind of made the joke that he's been someone who just throws up anything. I think Twitter's caught on it as well. Like, he doesn't swing the ball at all.
None.
Puts up any shot that he gets. No shot's a bad shot for him. But I think at this point, I'm sure there's a confidence issue and the coach maybe not trusting him the way that he would like. So I would definitely take a swing just again, for the fact that I think mentally that may be a good value bet there because of that.
Yeah, and it's a quicker turnaround than probably other ones have been because honestly, like, there's one day off, right? And you're in Miami, so not that you can get in too much trouble in a sense. And it's funny that, I'm looking over at DraftKings now. So all those are on FanDuel. DraftKings, and doesn't have him anywhere listed. And so, like I was saying, he just popped up while we were talking. Lines seem to be pretty similar, the same thing, but it's just funny that Michael Porter Jr. is at the line is what it is. It's just it's crazy. All right, so there's nothing else that I want to point at. The other lines are just rebounds, assists, nothing. Anything that you want me to pull up that you want to guess on before I move on?
What's Bam rebounds at? I know he had like 17, 18 tonight.
What do you think?
So I would guess it was at 9.5 tonight. I would guess it jumped to 10.5.
10.5. You got it. And then Joker, the Joker, Nikola Jokic.
I would say 12.5.
12.5. Look at you, man. Do you have this sportsbook pulled up?
I don't. I actually don't. I look at lines too much. I'm familiar with what their numbers normally sit at.
Wow. All right. So yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at. So just looking around the league and game 4, it's going to be obviously a good game, and it will be a fun game, I believe, because you got to think game 4, if you lose and you're Miami, you're going back to Denver with 3 to play, and they only need to win 1 game.
And
Like
they've
that.
only lost 1 game at home all
Correct.
playoffs. So if they lose, it's a must win. I mean,
It's a
I
must
think
win.
it's really simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got if you have to win 2, go win 2 in Denver essentially. If you lose this one,
And that means you're winning a game 7 in Denver.
Yeah, in Denver against Jokic, who looks like the best player in the world, far none right now. So it's a must win for Miami, which again, as we talked about, just the way that this team is built, the mentality, plus 3.5 for me. Like my heart wants me to go Denver, but I would be scared to do it. And I'd probably, me personally, would just stay away altogether. I'd look at some player props or something like that. But again, Miami's just one of those teams you really can't count out.
No, I agree completely. And so Miami, I don't love them, but I respect them. And so I won't ever put them away until, like, if they lose game 4, done, right? I think it's understood, writing on the wall. All right, let's go to our next segment, and that is the bad beats and the big cash. Give it to me. What do you have in bad beats and big cash?
So I'm pulling up my BetMGM right now. We were talking before. I had a $5 free bet that they've just been sending me notifications for every day. Put this free bet in. Put the free bet. You have a free bet, and it just cashed. It was, of course, probably It is the biggest. I think it is the biggest bet I've ever hit in terms of odds. It was plus 1484. Casper Rudd, which we'll get to, a Rude Rudd. We'll talk about tennis. It'll be a theme for me, unfortunately, as crazy as that sounds. I had him plus 1.5 sets. I was very comfortable with him winning the match outright. I took his plus 1.5 sets just to be safe. I had Marlins money line against the Royals. Tampa Bay Rays plus 2.5. I bought it up to plus 2.5 against the Twins. I had the Yankees money line, which was postponed and voided, which probably saved me at the end of the day because I'm sure that we saw the Yankees last night lose. Diamondbacks plus 2.5, Rangers plus 2.5, Nuggets money line, San Francisco Giants plus 2.5 for plus 1484. $5 paid 38.23. So again, that's probably the biggest. Look at me, I know, big balling. But odds wise, it's. I mean, again, it usually doesn't work like that. That you normally buy. I essentially just bought favorites that I liked. And MLB the last couple of days have been pretty chalk, from what I understand. It seems like the favorites have kind of been handling business. But yeah, so that was a big one that I hit. Bad beats, unfortunately, another baseball one. Which again, baseball, hockey, tennis, not my strong suit. It's just I'm desperate right now. It's that time of the season. Football's coming back soon. We're less than 100 days away, and then we'll get right. But I had the Pittsburgh Pirates last night against the Oakland A's, which, to my understanding, historically bad baseball team. Correct me if I'm wrong. I had the Pirates money line parlayed with this pitcher named Mitch Keller, which never heard of him before, but to my understanding, he's been one of the best pitchers in the MLB. Lights out, one of the best pitchers in the league this year. I was reading all this stuff about him. His over-under was at, I want to say 7.5 for Ks for that night. He had 8 in 7 straight games, feeling good. I'm like, all right, I'm going to buy it down to 6, and then I'm going to take the Pirates money line, which is like minus 200. Put them together. I get like minus, I think it was like minus 140, a little bit of juice. I was like, all right, put some money in my pocket, feel good. Pirates lost 11-2. Keller had 1 K in 7 innings, and his worst performance, I think, all season. And apparently it's, I think from what I read, he used to be not very good, and then he got good, and then everyone's like, this looks back to what he used to be. So that was painful and kind of made me re-question all the research I did. So that was a bad one for me.
Yeah, so my bad beat is Mitch Keller.
Yeah.
Like, I had him laddered up. I felt good about Mitch. Like, he has, that's just, you were saying, I think he had hit 8 or more in all but one start this season.
Yeah.
He'd been playing well. The Oakland A's strike out the most in baseball. They are not a real team. They're not a real Major League Baseball team. and somehow he put up one strikeout. I laddered him to the point of I got him at 6.5 the night before. I got him at over 6.5 at minus 132 or something like that. Some whatever. The right when it came out, it was Mitch Keller Day. We all celebrated. We all took him early. It bumped up to 7.5, right? And at plus one whatever. And so at that point, I hit it again because I wanted him at the 8 number. I felt good. And so I just sprinkled at 9 and 10 because usually I've cashed actually that in the past couple of days past couple of days on certain guys. And he comes out with one strikeout. Like that was obviously probably a total of, I'd say 3 to 3.5, maybe 4 units total for me that I had on just for the fact of I just felt good about him going against one of the worst teams. And you know what? I'd be probably more mad if he would have done like 4 or 5. But the fact that he did one, it was just embarrassing. You're just like, all right, I don't. So if you are a Tennessee resident, go ahead, download the app. Let them know you're from Tennessee, and they will make sure that they get you all set up. The cool thing with them is it's all about the cash rewards we talked about last time. I ask you the question, and what is it? Do you do airline miles or any kind of stupid reward program with your credit card?
Of course.
Yeah, everybody does, right? So
Gotta do it.
Here with the cash reward system, the way it works with Zen Sports is you, in a welcome bonus, you earn 5% cash back on the bets that you make in the first 15 days. Okay. First 15 days, 5% cash back. And then after that, the cash rewards program, you earn 3% of your betting volume back. All right. So all it is 3% of your betting volume. So whatever you're putting in, you're going to get back at the first of the month. And so the first of every month, you get 3% of the volume. So it's almost like a savings account in a sense. At least you know that 3% of the money you're putting there, you're going to get back. So that's why they want you to come over there and they want you to spend your money with them. They have the same odds as everywhere else. So if you're looking around, you're trying to figure out who's got better odds, they're pretty much very consistent with everybody else. So it's not the odds. There's no gimmicks. There's no nothing. Go over there and give them a chance over at Zen Sports, and you get to start earning money right then, 3% cash back. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to keep growing. And so right away, if you do see something you don't like, send them a message. They'll be more than happy to help you, maybe help you out along the way. You can let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you as well. Send us a DM over at Bluff City Bets. But they are our presenting sponsor going forward. So if you have a chance, go download the app, Zen Sports, Zen Sports, Zen Sports. But if you do have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 21 or over and in the Tennessee area to bet. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next segment, and that is what to play. All right, what are we playing? What are we looking at? What do you have going on?
I may have to go back to the well to start off and go back with hockey. And I'm eyeing this Vegas Golden Knights plus 100 on the money line.
They're up 2, right? Up 2-0?
Up 2, going to Florida now, but they've absolutely smoked Florida up to this point. They beat them 5-2 the first game, 7-2 the second game, I want to say it was. Yeah, 5-2 the first game, 7-2 the second. They've been flying throughout these playoffs. Obviously, it really is a do-or-die situation, and not the same as basketball. I think teams have come back from 3-0 down in hockey, but for the most part, with how well Vegas has been playing, plus 100, this is essentially a must-win. But I do think that it's worth a shot with Vegas plus 100 with how well they've been playing. Hockey's weird. You have the puck line at minus 265 for the Knights. Hate that. And then minus 1.5 for the Panthers. Hate that even more, honestly. It's plus 190, but I mean, maybe you get an empty netter at the end of that game, but Vegas just seems to be able to score essentially at will. You have the over-unders at 6 currently, which is hit obviously in both games so far. Florida probably should kind of tighten it up defensively, so I'd be hesitant on that over-under 6, especially at a whole number like that. But again, I think plus 100 may be worth a shot for the Golden Knights just with how well they've been playing. Getting a team like that at even money, I think, is good odds.
Yeah, no, I like that. What scares me is the must-win games. That always scares me, and that's why I wouldn't touch that game just for the simple fact of that. Like, it's not that I don't believe, I just don't trust teams that literally are feeling good going into it, know that, hey, as Vegas, we can play well and we can win this game. But if we don't, it's not a big deal. We can always go after game 4. We go game 4, we win that. All we have to do is split. That's their mindset. We won our 2 at home. We split here, and we're easy money going back into Vegas, and that's what scares me. Yeah, so other things I'm going to look at, I'm always going to lean more to baseball. As I've just said, I've puked enough with this the NBA Finals. And so we're so far in advance that I really don't know what to look at just right now with baseball because there are so many Thursday afternoon games. There's not anything that I'm seeing on the slate on the weekend that I just love. There is one matchup. Oh, I'm sorry. Red Sox Yankees. I hesitated on that one for the simple fact of the Canada stuff. Are they going to have to possibly move out of New York for that reason? Can they play those games? I don't know. But the Red Sox Yankees, one of the best, just in general matchups there is. It's always a fun matchup. It hasn't been probably much this year, but Red Sox Yankees always tickles my fancy, as we'll say. But one game I'm looking at, one matchup I'm looking at, and this is the Texas Rangers at the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oof.
These two teams are dynamite offensively. They're okay. They're okay pitching. They're okay defense, whatever. But they're so good on offense that I'm going to look at both of these games of the weekend to be fun to watch, fun to bet. I will probably be betting every game at some point, some scenario of pitchers, whether it be Marcus Semien and maybe Yandy Diaz, just to get one hit. Whatever those numbers are, it should be a lot of fun. And so I'm going to be on that for sure. And I now have looked at a line I really like. And so I'm making an official play change. I know I told you this, and nobody else knows this, but Chase knows this. I was on the Miami Heat plus 3.5 minus 110. I can have 2 official plays, whatever. We'll say it is an official play, but it's not my officially official play. But I do like the Miami Heat plus 3.5. But I found another line that I finally just dropped, and I've actually just played it myself. And so we're going to have that as my official play. And so it will be a baseball play, and it's something that I am leaning on, and it's targeting a pitcher I do not like. And so it is a 6:00 game on Thursday. So if you're hearing this, it will be, but this should give us a Thursday play and a Friday play. And so my Friday official play will be the Miami Heat plus 3.5. A game 4, got to win, got to do it, right? But that's what I'm looking at. Nothing crazy. Anything else you have on what to play and what you're what kind we're looking for going over the weekend?
No, I mean, again, I think baseball is going to have to kind of dominate the weekend with everything going on or not going on. Obviously, we have the Champions League final, which we've talked about sporadically throughout these first 4 episodes or 3 episodes up to this point. That is just this weekend. The lines just aren't at a point where I would be comfortable really betting it either way, just because Manchester City is such a big favorite. So currently on the money line, they are minus 235, which in a final, I wouldn't take that. Again, you have the draw aspect of soccer. So minus 235, if they tie, go to extra time. I don't like that at all. There's just really, I'm just trying to look at it now and kind of see, what I could potentially take that would make me, find some value in anything. I think Kevin De Bruyne with a assist would be one thing that I'll be looking at. He's one of the best, if not the best, passers of the ball in the world currently. So that would be something I would definitely take a look at, and I'll tell you here what it is. It is cannot find it, but I would take I'll change that. Erling Haaland minus 190, a ton of juice for a player to score a goal, but that's how good this guy is. Erling
minus 190 to score a goal.
To score a goal. That's how good this guy is. He is one of the most, if not the best goal scorers I've seen in the past decade, probably up there with Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic. I mean, this guy and the way that Manchester City plays, they create so many chances for him, and he's such a clinical finisher that I'd be comfortable laying the minus 190 for Haaland to score. Maybe put that with Manchester City to win the cup. If you put those two together, I can tell you here what that would be. So those two together would be not available to be parlayed on, but there's a place where you can parlay it on one of the other apps. I would definitely look at that, whatever those lines may be. I would guess it would be minus 130 ish. I would definitely take a look at that. So, I mean, that's really the only thing. Soccer's pretty much over. This is the last thing of the season, and then we get into transfer window and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, as we said, it's tough right now to bet anything. Just kind of, we're so far in advance. It's just a weird time when we're recording this on a Wednesday night. And we have a little bit of a lag before this comes out, usually in the afternoon on Thursday. And we do have some day baseball games, but I can't give you any of that stuff out except for the night game that I feel confident that our show will be out. There's a Los Angeles Angels. I'm trying to see when they play. There is something. You know what? This is an 8:38 game. So let's go ahead and go over, and we'll spend a couple minutes on this real quick. I'm going to go over to sharing my screen. All right. So you should be able to see props.cash right now. If you want to go over to props.cash, sign up. It's a lot of fun, a lot of information, and you actually learn a lot. You kind of teach yourself. I guess it's a platform that you can really learn to be a smarter, better, as we talked about, a little bit, make your cash go a little bit farther. We make it a little bit smarter. And this is how we're gonna make you a little bit smarter. But also use the code BCMBET as well. And that's Bluff City Media BCM Bet. Just use that. And you will make sure they save you a little bit early on. But here's walks with Reed Detmers. All right. This is juiced to minus 158. But the reason I show you this is you look at the Cubs over here and they're batting and to a left-handed pitcher. They do a pretty good job of getting some walks, right? And so they are ranked 8th best in the league in drawing walks. But look at these lines. All right, he's walked somebody in every single game, but in majority of games, 8 out of 10, he has walked 2 or more people. So once again, we go back to a lot of juice here. But as you've seen on DraftKings, you're always getting those 50% bets, right? Instead of using those on a plus 130, and then you're betting it up to now being, plus 190 or whatever it might be. Instead of doing all that, take a bet like this in a minus 158, and then you bring it down to a minus 108 or a minus 110, whatever it is, like a normal size bet, and then put your bet in on that for a bet like this. I feel like that is a good bet. It's a smarter bet. And so sometimes you don't need to go so crazy with going a little over the top and trying to cash big. But small cashes, bringing down a number that's actually more bite-sized from down to, minus 158 to actually a real number around minus 110. And you can get a guy like Reed Detmers for the Angels to have 2 or more walks. And so that's one I will play as soon as I get my little profit boost or whatever it might be. Usually it's on DraftKings, and this is where I know you can play walks on DraftKings. This is where I'll be playing that. So just a little bit I want to share on that because I think that's smart to kind of look at. But any other place that you're looking at, if you see it juice really high, but the numbers, they're just trying to keep you away from slamming it, then you can go ahead and use your profit boost, make it smaller and make it a little bit more bite size on a play that looks to be a good play. So anything you want me to look at before we move on, give our official plays and get out of here?
Give me Justin Verlander K's for the game tomorrow.
It's not out yet.
Not out yet. Okay.
His numbers, the full Atlanta game is not even out yet. So if you're looking at strikeouts, let's go back to strikeouts for a trend. So you're looking at these people on here right now. And so Clayton Kershaw finally popped up. I hadn't seen him. And so this list, since we've been recording, was like 6 people, I swear. And now it's starting to grow. But a little bit of, giving you behind the scenes, if you're watching here on YouTube, if you see this, you click on this MLB tab up here at the top, whatever, and it gives you these, everybody in a row. Well, if you look over here at 2023, that means that Jose Barrios, oh God, I just clicked on it, didn't I? His number is actually at 4.5. It's juiced, right, to minus 140 for the most part. I'll go back. How do I go back? What happened? Why can't I go back? What is going on? All right, I'm just going to go change completely everything and restart over. I can't see wherever my back button is. So I don't know if you can see. I'm looking for trends. All right.
No,
Anyway,
yeah,
I'm done clicking on stuff. So they're projecting him to be at 5, right? That's why the 0.5%. But okay, so you get your odds right here. Then your under is a plus 100. He has a streak of 4, right? And so this is what I always look at is how he's doing this season. But then you can look at last 20, last 10, last 5. And so these are the things versus the opponent. So this goes into previous seasons and also this season. And so those are just things you can look at, easy things. If I want to click on it and go just opponent, it'll actually tell you. So if you see people have played against each other, if you want to go to the last 5 games, so the last 5 starts for this guy, then it'll give you that he's been really good. He's missed one of 5. So he's hitting 4 or 5 in the last 5 games. And so that's what I would look at. But yeah, so these are always good. If I see a lot of red, that's maybe where you go under, right? That's a game you go under depending on what it is. So it's 5.5. They're projecting to do a 4.5. Let's see who he's playing. So we look at his numbers. That's a big line for him. It's probably going to be a decent size, number there. But the reason that number is the way it is because of the K rate, right? Milwaukee against right-handed pitching is bad. They strike out the 9th most. And so that's why you got to look at. So don't just look at this and you just go, all right, I'm going to go ahead and jump on it. He's only hit 2 of 10 this year. Well, if you go down here at Milwaukee, the very bottom against right-handers, look at all these guys who have hit their number, right? There's a lot more green than there is the red X's. And so some of these X's, you kind of look and see who they are. And so see why they didn't hit their number. So anyway, little fun things to watch, but as of right now, I do not see that he is back yet. And so that's one thing we have to watch and see whenever that line comes out. All right. You done? Good?
Yep. All good.
All right. Let's go ahead and finish it out. Let's go ahead and give our official plays and we will get out of here.
All right. I'm not proud of this. I'm not an expert at this, but like I said, tennis, French Open, usually before work, I'll put it on because you have a game that starts at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So by the time you get up, you're making your morning coffee. I'll throw it on as it's starting to end. And I just started getting into it. Again, don't know anything about tennis, but the more I've looked into it, the more I'm very confident in this play. It's minus 105, so you're getting good odds on it for an official play. And that is going to be Casper Ruud, R-U-U-D, money line against Zverev, who's a German player. So Zverev is actually the favorite. I'm going to say Zverev. It looks right. Z-V-E-R-E-V. He's the favorite. He's ranked 22 in the world. Rudd is ranked 4th in the world. Rudd just smoked the 6th-ranked player in the world in the last match, actually today as we're recording. This will be Friday at 7:45 a.m. Central Time, this one. He won in straight sets in the round before that against Jari, who's I know enough to know that he's a good player.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, and then before that, he's been smoking everyone the whole tournament is the best way to put it. Has been as high as ranked number 2 in the world. As of September 12, 2022, he was number 2 in the world. So pretty recently, he was number 2 in the world. Only 24 years old, so you're not worrying about someone who's going to flame out, get hurt, anything like that. And one of the big things with tennis in the short time that I've watched, and that's why I was so confident on him today against this Rune kid from Denmark, is mentally. If you get down to tennis, people will just lose their heads. You see that a lot, especially younger players. They'll just freak out, and it'll be over from then. Everything I've seen about this guy, that doesn't seem to be an issue. Even if he's down, he's not going to freak out. He's not going to lose his head and basically throw sets or matches or whatever it may be, like I saw with this Rune kid the other day, which is why I was on him this morning. So I say all that to say I'm going to go with his money line minus 105 to send him to the final against either Djokovic or Alvarez in the other side.
I like it. I'm going to just let you have that one and be done with it. I don't really want to try to pronounce those names. And so, yeah, Casper Ruud. I don't know if it's Casper Ruud. I do like him. He has been good. I don't follow his tennis. I don't at all, hardly. But I do know that there are people that I trust when they put in bets. I do see their name a lot. I don't really bet it a lot, but
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. You're kind of just sprinkling. You went soccer, you went hockey. Now we're at tennis. I was just keep on moving.
Yeah.
I think you had a basketball somewhere. I'm not sure.
Keep people. I think every official play has been a different sport so far. So
Sweet. Can't wait for cricket.
We're running out of sports.
All right. My official play is going to be a night game. So if you're hearing this, you got to wait through this before the night game is the New York Mets against the Atlanta Braves. And so there has been a lot that's happened in this series so far. And so it has been two kind of comeback wins from Atlanta, but they don't necessarily like each other in a sense. It's a division opponent for both these guys. I think the Mets are good, but I'm going to fade Justin Verlander. And so the last three games, the Braves, who did not play well out on the West Coast trip against Oakland or Arizona, but even the last two games against Arizona, they did cover this line. It is the over 4.5 runs. It's minus 118 over at FanDuel. You can find it minus 120 everywhere else. But the other games that they've had, last two games against Arizona, they scored 5 runs. Then they scored 8. And then the first game in the New York Mets series, they scored 6. Tonight, they scored 7. And so they're on average, they're scoring over 5 runs. And so what I'm looking at is them to go against an aging guy like Justin Verlander. I think he's throwing a more of a flat ball than he has in the past. His ERA is a 4.25. I just don't trust him. And so I'm going to go ahead and go with the Braves over 4.5 minus 118 and make that my official play. Another play I'm looking at in the same game, Spencer Strider, who is a lights out pitcher for the Braves. He also walks a lot of people. So if I can find his number, just like I talked about earlier in the walks, if I can find that number at 1.5 walks, I'm going to go with over 1.5 walks for Spencer Strider. More than likely it's going to be at minus 140, 160. And I'm going to try to see if I can use one of those boosts to bring it down and to make it a more bite-sized number to minus 110, 120. Because I do believe that he is a guy who will walk people, but he's a phenomenal strikeout pitcher. So because that the Mets are going to try to take a lot of pitches to try to get into the bullpen and get away from him, they're going to take some pitches and make sure they get deep into his pitching number and get him out before the 6th inning. So that's what I'm looking at. He's going to pitch 5 innings. He's going to have 2 walks, probably 8 strikeouts. But at the end of the day, we're going to cash on the 2, and then the Braves are going to have 5 or more runs. So that's what I'm playing. That's my official plays, and you can add that to the Friday Miami Heat plus 3.5. Why not? We'll just keep giving people what they want.
We'll make our averages better. More, yeah.
Somehow, some way. All right. Anything else you got before we get out of here? I know it's a quick episode. I don't even know what time we're at. Oh man, we're right at the 45-minute mark. So the normal episode.
So I'm good to go.
All right, that's all we got. Let's have a great week, everybody, and let's go ahead and cash some plays. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.